Hi, this is Dr. Farley, and this week I want to go over a very interesting article that came out in Frontiers in Cellular Neuroscience. It was published in March 2018. I was just online this past weekend doing some research on PubMed, and I came across this. And the title of it is An Inflammation-Centric View of Neurological Disease Beyond the Neuron. So what most people are being told, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's disease, or any of these neuropsychiatric symptoms, including depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, is that these are neurotransmitter imbalance problems, and that over a time frame, there's a genetic glitch which creates the neurotransmitter problem, and that the answer is always take the drug to correct the neurotransmitter problem. The only issue with that is there's not much science to support that whatsoever. So we need to go back and look at what are true underlying root functional causes. And what this is basically saying is that in my model, there's the nervous system, the endocrine system, which is all the hormones, powerful chemicals, and then there's the immune system. Both the endocrine system and the immune system are subsystems off of the master nervous system. So if that nervous system goes down in function, those systems also go down in function. So although they are the three big systems and they communicate and talk with one another, the nervous system is still the master system running everything else. And the job of the nervous system is to control and coordinate every other subsystem and cell tissue in your body. But back to the biggest troublemaker is the immune system. And if you go back and look at immune problems, and you'll find that we've been looking at chronic inflammation. And the word, by the way, chronic inflammation is wrong also. It should be sustained inflammation. Dr. Alex Vasquez says the word is wrong. There's no reason why your immune system should be stuck in chronic inflammation unless you are doing something to it to irritate it over and over and over again. So realistically, the word should be sustained inflammation. And this entire article is talking about that inflammation is normal. We need it to heal. We need inflammation to get rid of germs and bugs. But the problem becomes when it gets stuck in a sustained inflammatory response, that over time, that is a major contributor to neurological disease. And it not only can create damage in the brain, but over a time frame, it can just cause early neurodegeneration. It also can be involved in Alzheimer's, like we talked about, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. Also can be involved with stroke, can be involved with traumatic brain injury. So if you have an injury and you get some concussion or some accident that you have, if the brain is already in an inflammatory state, you're likely not going to get a good response from that. If you have an injury and a concussion and the brain is not in an inflammatory state, you can resolve this problem and maybe not have any residual problems whatsoever. You also want to know that any trauma to the brain that may happen when you're younger, playing sports, football, or whatever it may be, they can be cumulative over time, and you can start a fire inside the brain that gradually breaks it down, and then it can show up down the road as all types of neurological problems, neuropsychiatric issues, depression, anxiety, bipolar, sleep issues, gastrointestinal problems, all kinds of issues. You also can start to get chronic pain throughout the body, anywhere. You can get neuropathic pain. And the other thing you want to know also is that this neuroinflammation, or the fire that's inside the brain, it causes premature aging of the brain for sure. It's also involved in autism, fibromyalgia. And this article, by the way, that I'm sure I'll post somewhere, has over 412 references. So this is not a concept. It's a very well-established scientific fact that inflammation is involved with all neurological disease. Now, I want to just take this a step further and explain this, that inflammation starts from immune dysfunction. 85% of everyone's immune system is located inside the gut. So the gut houses 85% of the immune system, and that's where actually inflammation starts. And what comes through the gut? Your food. So if you're eating foods that are not correct specifically for you, then that can be a chronic sustained inflammatory response that will never get any better. You also cannot go on these diets that are general. You can't go on the depression diet, the Parkinson's diet, the chronic pain diet, because after thousands and thousands of patients that I've seen and thousands of tests that I've run, what I find is that you have to be specific. And if you have a specific food that you've created an antibody against, even though that food may be considered good, like avocado, like cucumber, like lemon, who thinks those are bad foods? But if you've made an antibody against that specific food, then you specifically cannot eat that food and you need to remove that food. These are also not allergy tests. That's incorrect. So if you got allergy testing, that's not the testing that we're talking about. So I hope that you found this interesting. And again, we are experts in identifying sustained inflammatory responses. Number one, do you have it? How bad is it? And what are all the contributing factors to creating the sustained inflammatory response? And also, lastly, how is that contributing to the neurological problems that you may be having? Thank you very much. Have a great day.